Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Paul Heyman and Vince Russo were two of the most influential behind-the-scenes names in the wrestling business in the late 1990s and early 2000s. According to Russo, Heyman's alleged backstage politics contributed to Mike Sanders' lack of WWE success. Sanders held the Cruiserweight Championship during his 3-year run in WCW. The former wrestler joined WWE when Vince McMahon purchased WCW in 2001. However, the company let him go in 2002 after a short developmental stint. Russo worked with Sanders when he wrote for TNA and WCW. On Sportskeeda's The Wrestling Outlaws with host Dr. Chris Featherstone and wrestler EC3, he accused former creative team member Heyman of holding Sanders back in WWE. Watch the video above to hear Russo explain why Bully Ray should not critique other companies while working for WWE. After leaving WWE, Mike Sanders wrestled for TNA before appearing in Vince Russo's Ring of Glory promotion in 2005. He retired from in-ring competition aged 36 and became a comedian. Russo believes the former WCW star is one of many wrestlers who should have received more opportunities. Russo also shared his opinion on why AEW wrestlers might take notice of WWE's inconsistent booking of Alexa Bliss and Gunther. Professional wrestling is a world of larger-than-life characters, breathtaking athleticism, and gripping storytelling. However, behind the scenes, politics, personal rivalries, and strategic maneuvering often shape the direction of a wrestler's career just as much as what happens in the ring. One such intriguing backstage story involves Paul Heyman, one of wrestling's most brilliant minds, and his reported efforts to prevent an ex-WCW star from joining WWE. The revelation came from former WWE and WCW head writer Vince Russo, who has always been outspoken about the industry's behind-the-scenes dealings. According to Russo, Heyman used his influence to block a former WCW talent from making a successful transition into WWE. But why would Heyman, known for his advocacy of wrestling talent, try to prevent a superstar's entry into the biggest wrestling company in the world? Let's explore this explosive claim and dive into the dynamics of wrestling politics that may have led to this controversial move. Before we delve into the specifics of this controversy, it's essential to understand the role Paul Heyman has played in professional wrestling. From his days as the mad genius behind ECW to his influential roles in WWE as both an on-screen and backstage figure, Heyman has always had a reputation for being strategic, cunning, and fiercely protective of the talent he believes in. Heyman has helped elevate numerous wrestlers' careers, including Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and the Dudley Boys. However, his influence behind the curtain has not always been positive for every superstar. He has had his fair share of conflicts, and as Vince Russo suggests, he may have actively worked against some talents. According to Vince Russo, one such wrestler who felt Heyman's influence in a negative way was Mike Sanders, a former WCW talent. Sanders was a rising star during WCW's final years, known for his charismatic promos and leadership of the Natural Born Thrillers faction. Despite his potential, Sanders never had a successful WWE run after WCW was bought out. Russo claims that Heyman did everything in his power to prevent WWE from hiring Sanders. This revelation has sparked a new wave of discussion about how much influence Heyman truly had in WWE's hiring decisions, particularly regarding former WCW talent. Sanders, a talented performer with a natural gift for cutting promos, seemed like a perfect fit for WWE's sports entertainment-driven style. But despite having all the tools to succeed, he was never able to make an impact in WWE. If Heyman was truly behind his exclusion, the question remains, why? There could be several reasons why Heyman allegedly worked against Mike Sanders. 1. Personal bias or professional rivalry. Heyman has always been known to have strong opinions about wrestling talent. If he didn't see something special in Sanders or felt that he wasn't the right fit for WWE, he may have pushed against his hiring. Additionally, the ECW versus WCW rivalry was still fresh at the time of WWE's WCW acquisition. Heyman, as the former leader of ECW, might not have been keen on bringing in WCW talent that he felt didn't align with his vision of wrestling. 2. Protecting his own talent. Heyman has always had a select group of wrestlers he has supported throughout his career. He may have feared that Sanders' inclusion in WWE could take the spotlight away from wrestlers he was advocating for. If he believed that Sanders wasn't as deserving as other talents he wanted to push, he might have influenced the decision to exclude him. 3. Influence over WWE's talent acquisitions. During the early 2000s, WWE had to decide which WCW talents to bring in and which ones to leave behind. They had already cherry-picked stars like Booker T and DDP while discarding others. If Heyman had sway over those decisions, he may have been able to keep Sanders out of WWE's plans. 4. Sanders' WCW background and WWE's changing direction. Mike Sanders was part of WCW's younger generation, and WWE didn't bring in many of those rising stars during the Invasion storyline. Instead, they focused on established WCW main eventers. Heyman could have simply been part of the broader decision to overlook the younger WCW talent in favor of more established names. Interestingly, this isn't the first time Heyman has been accused of blocking talent from WWE. Vince Russo also revealed that Heyman allegedly tried to keep the Dudley Boys from joining WWE in 1999. The Dudley Boys, one of ECW's most dominant and popular tag teams, were making waves in the wrestling world. However, when WWE showed interest in signing them, Heyman reportedly told Vince McMahon that they were not interested. In reality, Bubba Ray and Devon were eager to make the move. This raises an interesting question. Was Heyman trying to protect ECW at the time, or did he simply have personal reasons for not wanting certain stars to move on? If the claims about Mike Sanders are true, this pattern suggests that Heyman may have had a history of blocking talent based on his own preferences or strategic interests. The wrestling industry is filled with stories of politics, backstage maneuvering, and strategic decision-making. Whether it's Paul Heyman, Vince McMahon, or another influential figure, there are always people pulling the strings behind the scenes. While fans see the matches, promos, and storylines on television, what happens backstage can often have an even greater impact on a wrestler's career. If a talent has an advocate in their corner, they have a much better chance of success. But if someone influential works against them, even the most talented wrestler can struggle to make an impact. Mike Sanders' story is a reminder that professional wrestling is not just about athleticism or charisma. It's also about who supports you and who doesn't. While there is no official confirmation from WWE or Heyman himself regarding Vince Russo's claim, it does align with other known instances of Heyman allegedly working behind the scenes to control WWE's talent pool. It's possible that Heyman simply didn't see Sanders as a good fit for WWE, or perhaps there were deeper personal or strategic reasons for his reported opposition. Either way, the wrestling world thrives on speculation, and stories like these keep fans engaged long after the matches are over. Paul Heyman's legacy as a wrestling genius is undeniable, but as with any powerful figure in the business, his influence has sometimes been a double-edged sword. Whether this particular case was justified or not, one thing is certain: Wrestling is just as unpredictable behind the scenes as it is in the ring.